Hey, welcome to the Procrastination Busting Masterclass. I'm super duper excited that you're watching this. And if you have any questions or comments, please do ask them under the video. So I'm going to stop procrastinating and just tell you a little bit about me before we get into the meat on the bones, just in case you don't know who I am. My name is Emma Sidney, and I'm a business designer, and I help women working in wellbeing to grow their business online without burning out, diversifying into all sorts of different sparkling offerings, a menu of sparkling offerings, and using email marketing and funnels in a positive, non-masculine way. So I am a mom to Ember, a 3-year-old. So everything that I do and everything I create is there to help you to do it in a short amount of time, as easily and effortlessly and efficiently as possible, because I know what it's like when we have lots of different competing priorities, and she is definitely a gorgeous one. I used to be an internal auditor, so I have a lot of strings to my bow when it comes to business. I had lots of issues in my early 20s with anxiety and suicide and all of this kind of stuff. I never actually did it, but I was in a really bad panic attack space and got into personal development and spiritual development, which I also have been. So I've been practicing that for 20 years now. And I started off creating jewelry as a hobby and a little hobby business and selling it. And then I realized that I wanted more out of my life, and I didn't want to actually be in that corporate world anymore. And it's taken a long time to get out of that, but I did. I trained in NLP, timeline therapy, hypnotherapy coaching, and I then started a business as a nutritional life coach, which is where I really did get into a lot of these lead magnets. I was doing this 10 years ago, right at the beginning. So I've learned along the way what works and what doesn't. And one of the key things I've learned is we're all different, and that's what we have to adapt to. And now I've pulled it all together into the Sparkle Society. For me, adding that little bit of sparkle and joy and fun is a great way to bust procrastination and get our businesses moving, as well as to help them stand out. So enough about me. Let's get moving on to talking about procrastination. This is a cheeky little definition, can't help it. Come back from the whole internal audit corporate days. It is the art of delaying or postponing something. And for me, one of the things I want to talk about is this whole thing around why we procrastinate, and actually doing so with a kindness, with a curiosity, because we can get kind of caught up in the thought, and I see it a lot online, that procrastination is a bad thing. But really, and I want this, if there's one thing that I want you to take away, is if we are procrastinating, there is a reason why. And when we understand that reason why, and we play with it and we do something about it, then we are less likely to procrastinate and we can move forward. It does not mean we are a bad person because we procrastinate. And sometimes, as I will explore, it is, well, not sometimes, all the time, there is a reason. And sometimes, we just need to have that time out. We need to have that space. And yes, underpinning this, which I'm not going to go into as part of this masterclass, because actually that's where, we need to be looking at like our limiting beliefs, our fears. There's a lot of stuff that might sit under this. And this is where we do the work. But this masterclass really is designed to help you in the moment go, I'm procrastinating. Why? Oh, it's because of this reason. Oh, I've got this tool to help me. Oh, I need to do this because I'm not doing it in the way that works for me. So that's the point of this masterclass. It's not to necessarily go into some of the deeper layers, which will exist and is something that you can work through. But, this is for you to sort of go, it's almost like procrastination busting 101. So let's talk about why we procrastinate. And I've identified 7 broad kind of ways and triggers and reasons why procrastination might be showing up. And the first one is perfectionism. So, some of these will resonate, some won't. Perfectionism is that whole thing that, it can be paralyzing. I can't post that social media post. I can't do that live. I can't do all these things because it's not perfect. And Also, it can be, well, I want to do things that are of quality. I want to be professional. Are you telling yourself these things? And that can lead to this perfectionism. And perfectionism means that you are stopping yourself. It means that you are putting off that social media post. So, and what I want you to do is just to go, okay, yeah, that can show up for me. And I will explore how you set up, not a process, but how you start to build tools and techniques to deal with these. But the first stage is going, you know what? I'm spending 3 hours writing this post because I'm worried that it's perfectionism showing up. I will just do it. That is why I'm procrastinating. So part of busting procrastination is recognizing why you're doing it, because then you can do something about it. And like I say, you can go into those layers of how perfectionism is showing up, what's going on. Is there like a fear around looking silly, all of that kind of stuff. But for now, just go perfectionism. Yeah, I'm trying to make it perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Let's stop procrastinating. Hopefully this is making sense. Please do ask me any questions. And I'm going to stop saying about the fact that there's the deeper layers and, all of that, because that should be in your head right now. So the other thing is conflict. So this can show up because perhaps you're trying to follow someone, you're trying to follow a tool, a technique, a business approach. There's lots of experts out there, and actually it's in conflict with your values and what you're trying to achieve, your mission. And that can lead to procrastination. And I think there are so many wonderful people out there, and you are one of those business owners. And some of your audience will resonate with you, and then they're your ideal client and they'll come to you. And some of them will start to follow you and go, actually, that's not working for me. And then they're sort of putting off doing things. So that's how conflict can show up. So you might be following a way of doing your social media content. You might be following a way of writing your landing page, and you're doing it, and then you're like starting it, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to go and do something else. I'm going to go put the washing on. Well, that conflict is there, and this is a really good one to recognize, because when there is the thing I learned when I did internal auditing, and this sounds really bizarre. So one of the areas that I did a lot of work in is GDPR. And you'd think, wow, GDPR, it's a legal requirement. It's going to be the same in every organization. The application of GDPR is different, even in very similar big corporate organizations. How they need to apply it and how they make it relevant for them is going to be different. So there's a lot of follow my tool, follow my way to 5K and all of that kind of stuff. But if their way to 5K is out of alignment and is in conflict with what works for you and what your goals are and who your ideal client is, then you might be going, I'm trying to follow this, I'm trying to do this, but it's not working. So is that one way that procrastination is showing up in your business? Another one, which is quite an interesting one, and a lot of people go, because in all of this stuff, we talk about taking action, and taking action is really crucial and it is important and we need to do it. But actually, sometimes that action can lead to procrastination because we are doing too much of it, or we're not doing it in the best way for us and our business. Everything needs to be adapted to the way we want to work, to what's going on in our lives. I've got a 3-year-old. I get knackered in the afternoon, especially. So I need to manage my energy levels. It's no good. I'm going to procrastinate if I'm trying to do a big project at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I've got to go and pick my little toddler up at 2:30. It's like, I can't get this done. And you're racing against the clock. And sometimes deadlines and sometimes that pressure can help us. But, there is that balance, because sometimes it can slip into procrastination. So, not all of this is applicable all the time, and some of it isn't applicable at all. But if you're procrastinating, could it be that you're trying to do too much, or you're trying to almost shoehorn things in to too smaller amounts of time and take too much action? And then it's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go and do something else. So you're going to put off doing the important things because you're trying to do all of the action that isn't important. That's the other factor in all of this. And it sounds like a bit of a mind dump in what I'm saying to you. And I know that your brain's going, I'm not sure, it might be, it might not be relevant. But, when that happens, you'll get that moment of going, oh my God, I listened to Emma's Procrastination Masterclass. I'm trying to do too much. I'm trying to do too much of the wrong thing that's not going to serve me. I'm trying to do too much of the right thing, and I'm not giving myself enough time. I'm creating conflict between my life and my business because I know that I want to go and watch my daughter at sports day. So I'm trying to shoehorn things in. They can overlap. You can have more than one going on at the same time. So is this a reason why you're procrastinating? Uncertainty. One of the biggest things when we're self-employed is we don't know what's going to happen. We don't have that certainty of the monthly paycheck. We don't, it's not really paycheck anymore, the monthly bank deposit. We don't necessarily always have the certainty of that work. We're trying to do all these different things, and that uncertainty can lead to procrastination. And that, I will come on to the ways and a process and the tools and the techniques for dealing with this. But as I said earlier, and I said I wouldn't repeat myself, but I'm going to, these are ways to identify that this is how it's showing up, because once you know this and you think about it, it loses its power and you can have a bit of a laugh. Distractions. Are you going on social media with the excuse of I need to do it for my business and then scrolling through and kind of doing all of that? And sometimes distractions we need, and I'll come on to some of this as well, because we're not giving ourselves enough headspace. So if you're getting really, really distracted, that is a form of procrastination. That is a reason that you're procrastinating, because you're going and doing something completely different. So again, it's an identification that this is something that is showing up for you now, but it's being kind to yourself about it. Shiny object syndrome can be a form of procrastination, can be a reason. That's the whole thing of signing up for 5 million different things. I still sign up for stuff. I don't have shiny object syndrome anymore. I sign up for the things that are important. I sign up for the things that fit with what I'm going to talk about in terms of, knowing that that's going to help me the most, rather than trying to do 20 million different challenges in 1 week. I might sign up for a challenge, but I'm going to sign up for a challenge that I know is going to help me. I'm going to sign up for a product or a service because I know it's going to help me. So if you're willy-nilly going, oh, that looks nice because that's going to help me with that, it's going to help me with that, I need that. Shiny object syndrome is showing up, and that's a form of procrastination. You're putting off doing the important stuff. You're putting off those sales. You're putting off those social media posts. Is shiny object syndrome showing up for you? And by the way, you can put some of this in the comments if those light bulb moments are going off and you're going, oh yeah, that's me. That's me sometimes. It's not you as a person. It's not who you are. It's just how these things are showing up. And this is my way of putting that light onto it. Overwhelm is very easy to get into. You might be putting too much on your plate. And yes, it's like a massive action type thing. But actually, it's I'm trying to do 10 million different things and I am feeling totally overwhelmed. So therefore, I am going to go and put the laundry on. And these are things that we often procrastinate with. We actually need to do as well, So sometimes it's not procrastination, or it's doing something because we need that space to escape from the overwhelm. And like I say, there are overlaps in this, but it's how it feels to you. It's what's right to you. It's the label that will help you the most. Am I taking too much action? Yes. Is that leading to overwhelm? Yes. 2 things going on. I'm procrastinating. So pop it in the comments. Does any of this kind of ring bells? So which of these relate to you? Some of them, it's just a behavior. It's just something that's showing up. Some of them will, some of them won't. Some of them will at certain points. What kind of, hits home to you when you think about your way of procrastinating? So why stop procrastinating, and should you stop? So there are some people out there who say, right, you need to stop procrastinating. It's really easy, you just stop. But actually, it's like I say, it is a sign. It is something that for me is highlighting. There is a positive side to procrastination. it might be your inner compass saying you're not doing things the way that you need to be doing things. You're not working in a way that's going to help you the most. It's going to help your ideal clients the most. It's maybe a bit of an alarm. You can then do something about it. There is a positive side to procrastination. Plus, sometimes we just need to put the blooming washing in the washing machine. And it's not actually procrastination. And we can kind of label ourselves as procrastinating when actually we don't need to. A benefit of stopping procrastinating as much, or of busting it, or of recognizing what's going on and doing something about it and putting those tools and techniques in place, is that it will bring a certain calm, because procrastination creates a bit of chaos. It creates a bit of, I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing. It can create that panic that, oh my God, I'm not making sales. So actually there needs to be a reason to do this work. There needs to be a reason for you to stop procrastinating. And bringing calm into your life, because when you have that calmness, that certainty, that's when you can make those steps that won't mean that you procrastinate. With busting procrastination, you will feel more confident in yourself, because again, you're taking those actions that are going to feel really good, that are also going to lead to greater and better results. And it will take time, and it will take action, and it will take different things. And I will come on to those. I always jump ahead. It will help you to be in alignment when you let go of that idea of procrastination, some of those procrastination things. It will help you feel more in alignment with who you are, with your ideal client, with your business. And that feels really, really good. And it will just help you let go of some of those deeper things. Like I say, there is that potential to go deeper with this stuff. And when you start and you go, right, I'm just going to recognize this, I'm going to do something about it, you can go on that journey of development. I've always said that being in business is that greatest opportunity of personal development as well. And we need to work on the person as much as we work on the business. It will help you to achieve your dreams and your desires, because you are taking that action, because you are doing those things that most appeal to you. You are doing those things that your audience love. You are, getting out there and posting that social media post that brings you sales, that helps you achieve your dreams and desires, and the dreams and desires of your audience, because that's why you're showing up anyway. It means when you start procrastinating, when you bust through procrastination, it starts with the identification. And then, as I say, I'll come on to some of the idea, the process of doing it, if you like. It means that you're sitting in that zone of genius, because if you're not doing shiny object syndrome and you're getting those tools together that help you the most, then you will be focusing in your business on what makes you shine. You'll be focusing in your business on what you love doing. It will bring you that zone of genius. So, how do you stop procrastinating? Like I say, some of this is not just going, you know what, I'm just going to let go of worrying about it, because that leads to procrastination. So, the starting point is purpose. So, being really clear about your purpose, your mission, your vision, your dreams, your desires, and what you want for your ideal client. And it's not just a tick box exercise of purpose. When you constantly and consistently come back to purpose, that will help you stop procrastinating, because you will ask yourself, is this in alignment with what I want? Is this part of my mission? Is this part of my purpose? This will help you to focus. This is not just something you do as a tick box exercise. This is something you come back to constantly. It will help you to do the right action on social media. And when I say right, in inverted commas, the action on social media that appeals the most to your audience. And it will help you get over your own rubbish. Planning is so important, and it doesn't have to be done in a way that doesn't work for you. There are loads of different ways to plan, and it's finding the right way to plan for you. It's finding a way that you can do it flexibly, that acknowledges that things go on in life, that there are emergencies, there are children, There are lots of different things, but without a plan, you're much more likely to get distracted. Your plan needs to align with your purpose, because if it doesn't, you could end up, doing lots of different things, that shiny object syndrome, that massive action, getting overwhelmed. A plan will stop you getting overwhelmed, because it's like, right, okay, is this I'm doing in my plan? This is purpose. What's going on? My plan is changeable, but I've got a plan that I can change. So I am less likely to procrastinate. Practical action, not massive action, practical action. Action that changes things. Action that changes things. That's in alignment with your plan, in alignment with your purpose. Action is key, but it needs to be action that works for you. It needs to be action that recognizes emergencies. It needs to be action. See? So this isn't rocket science, but how you put it together and how you make it work for you is where the art is. A lot of this is the science, but the art comes in making sure you do it in a way that works for you. And that will help you break free of that procrastination and be able to help you sparkle and shine. Patience. This is something that I am like, I still have to work on my patience. We're all a work in progress. We all need to do this on an ongoing basis. And these are the more kind of, I hate the word softer, but these are the things that we need to do. There's the practical, tangible that I've just covered, but we need to have patience. Sometimes things won't happen as quickly as we want them to, but we need to know that they will happen, that we have put that out there, that it is coming to us. Because when we are not patient, it can lead to us doing too many things, massive action. It can lead to us getting overwhelmed because we're trying to do those too many things. Procrastination happening. It can lead to us going, oh my God, I want to do this and this and this and this. Shiny object syndrome. So all of once we start to practice patience, take that step back, take that breath, know that things are going to unfold as we need to. We are less likely to procrastinate. Positive thinking. This is one of those terms, again, that gets quite often bandied around and we get a bit sick of and all of this. And it means different things to different people. It doesn't mean that you have to be like a happy, clappy person that some people might say that you need to be. But it is about working on what you're telling yourself and working on your stories and working on your beliefs. The more you tell yourself that you can achieve, the more you tell yourself that you're not a procrastinator, the more you do all of this, the more you tell yourself that planning is sexy. The stories that you tell yourself are key. So when you change those stories that aren't working, when you move to that positive tale, that is when you will start to stop procrastinating. And all of this is layers, and all of this is time, and all of this is awareness. Practice. I did mention practice because I can't help myself. I can't remember how many hours, something like 10,000 hours or 100,000 hours to become an expert. So to stop procrastinating is going to take practice. To work out how planning in your business can work for you best, it's going to take practice. To find out what strategy in your marketing, in your creating offerings, because they're the things that I love doing and love helping with, to make sure that all of this works for you and is in alignment and is helping you to achieve your dreams and desires. It's going to take practice. It's going to take time, patience, and positive thinking. It's going to take practice to do this. And that's the cool thing. It took you practice to become an expert in what you're doing. It's going to take practice to stop procrastinating. And this is my favorite one. And this is why I said sometimes the washing can be a good thing, because we need to recognize that, like, I work a 5-ish hour day, and I know that I need to take time sometimes to take a step back. I do try and make my step backs, like when I'm walking to pick my daughter up at the end of the day, or sort of not within necessary. I try. My goal is to focus that working time, but sometimes it's like, right, actually, you know what? I need to take that pause. And pause doesn't have to be meditation. It can be. It doesn't have to be walking in nature, but it can be. It could just be going and putting the kettle on for a cup of tea. It could literally be going, actually, you know what? I'm going to put the washing on because I need to walk around. I need to do something that's movement. So this is where it's recognizing that you are taking too much action and therefore procrastinating because you're not doing the best things that you could be doing. So hopefully this is making sense, and you can use all of this to evolve and adapt what you're doing now, because you're doing some of this. You're recognizing some of this already. The other thing I want to kind of say is that within this whole thing of procrastination, there is an art. There is kind of like, recognizing that it's going to be messy sometimes, and that's okay. We need to have flexibility going on with all of what we're doing and recognize that flexibility is important. Focus will help you to not procrastinate. And they might seem like, oh, they're all opposites of each other, but they're not. We are messy people. You want to have focus, but equally you want to have fun. So when do you go and have some fun and go and have some fun with procrastination? Oh, you know what? I'm procrastinating, so I'm just going to go and clean my fridge. I need that pause anyway. And it all helps you have that freedom that you desire. We have freedom of choice at every moment. We have freedom to choose to procrastinate. And all of this will help you to unlock some of that seriousness and unlock some of those blocks that are getting in the way of you having that business that you desire. And this is my kind of framework that I use to underpin all of what I've spoken about and those ways to procrastination. And it's kind of like a framework and a system, if you like, that creates sort of and how you deliver this and how you do it. I'm not going to tell you, because the how, and I can help you do the how, don't get me wrong, I can, but the how is unique to you. But the key principles, the key tools you can use. So it is about, at the core of everything is you. So what's going on in your head, how you're looking after yourself, how you're doing all of that, what your mission is. That for you, how you want to, when I say mission, I mean mission to develop personally. That is the core. When you bring that into the core, that will help you to grow your business and to help you to stop procrastinating, because it's important to spend that time on our development. And I do this. Having that vision, having that mission, having that purpose, and coming back to it at all points, and having different ways and different tools to help you to do that. Within that then comes to the plan. And yes, this is what I was sort of talking about, but it's also how it all intermingles. Having a way of planning and having that strategy for your business that then you can use as a strong foundation to take the action that will make the most of your time, that will bring you the best results, that will work for you. And two things that I find really super helpful is reviewing and reflecting, is coming back to that vision, is reviewing and reflecting on how can I do better with practicing patience? How can I develop that? What's working, what's not working? How can I be kind to myself? And that comes down to even like looking at your stats. What action am I taking, and is that action creating the results that I want? And all of this also fits into things like the law of attraction, being really specific about what you want, letting the outcome go, doing that work on visioning and sitting in with what, you're wanting to help with, but then letting it go and taking the action that you need to take, and then sort of adjusting course and trusting that things will come, especially when you work on yourself. And that's all. People think woo-woo, but it's also science. It's also, delivering all of this. It's also fitting in with all of those key business strategy when I did my training and when I've done it in business, it all aligns together. This isn't stupid things. This is really good stuff. And we can reject it. And I know when I left corporate and I knew this stuff, I still rejected it and quite often didn't do it. But this will help you. This process will help you stop procrastinating. So please do put any questions or thoughts in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, I look forward to hearing more about your key takeaways from this and what you're going to take action on. And if this is something that you want to work through in more detail, do message me and do connect with me and contact me, and I will share with you how I can help you stop procrastinating, move your business forward, grow your business, and do so with those kind of key principles in mind that I have shared during this masterclass. So have a lovely day, and I will see you soon.